the first to know Nsem-Pii TV.
Recently, former Chief Justice here, Mami Gertrude Tokunu, and a lawyer for a cocoa piemu court to say court no intimi and horte senior ebeyan kientimi and vecte acting CJ Jera Bafo Bonnie na no. And I'm so Professor Henrietta Mensa Bonsu eka sembi mino kase de ababe hiapa enye asem koto na de asem na mami kan all this CJ remover ekoso nyina mami no de ababe tu edwa se eyade se ono oye Supreme Court judge na afi osan so eye professor na according to the nimdie mu no se judges ewo ho na se judges no enye saver judges nimpo enye saver how come more temamufo na afi ekwan ayefa so eyi chief justice no emre crossing ekwan anke yefa so e di eyi class prefect e di free ne classroom na se class prefect kradia den crossing say yebeyi a whole chief justice dia ene omanyi baby a wan hwa ye keka kono ho tronade enkonko tie
Memphis said the embattled Chief Justice and President Mahama a bold timupo. So a bar ubi dino, ampa what was here ayo, wajinedi. Eric Pacho made the adibit so mount. As a news card be, my son, the mapacho, amedasi, yan will be a crabbe mamina, Namashi Quanka bit me, I can kind. Ye adie and then wouldn't be yapa wouldn't be doing your aha mo what's it no way ye Professor Henrietta Mensa was Supreme Court judge and now walkasa brave said that a quasifwa see what Attorney General and I say a bino a war the attempt to remove the Chief Justice. Now the choir no Professor Henrietta Mensa Bonsu. The ruling no mono and the judgment to the mono. Adia wa troye no baby keto bi na media ba say yen kan yenti. Professor wa ben papa was Supreme Court judge. Na asem no so mu ruling 3-2. Yenti ruling 3-2 against Vincent Ekwasifua. Yenti akrabia mamene was it knowing the importance of the preservation of judicial independence in the court's ability to protect the citizen against the powerful in the community. Many are the provisions and safeguards provided under the Constitution. It is not for nothing that judges are required to take a judicial oath to administer justice. In quotation, without fear or favor, affection or ill will. How can the judiciary guarantee everyone's constitutional right to fair treatment if it cannot enjoy any such right when allegations of impropriety are made against the head of that institution itself? The people of Ghana will certainly be the poorer for having a judiciary that cannot protect them against the overweening power of the executive. Another class of citizens on whom there will be hardship is the class of persons who have made the decision to serve the country in the role of judges. Perhaps they may be forced to rethink their options and career choices if removing the head of the constitution was if removing the head of the institution is no more difficult. But me read it. Was it perhaps they may be forced to rethink their options and career choices if removing the head of the institution is no more difficult than removing a class prefect of a school from office. Where your Professor Henrietta Mensa Bonsu, JSC, Justice of the Supreme Court. But over to me a year free. Mamina se ma walkan e wo sa case beto manim ne se. E wo se Ghana mrade kire se wo ye jaja na asem beto wani mu a so wutimi di ne pere so abra wumfa ehu wumfa suro ana odobia ode ma obi ana abusu asem na amfosem classmate sem old boysm enye no a ne mo pere ye na constitution bo obi ya ho ban ti say the boy judge for ho ban na mo no ba asem bia asem akoduri just talk no asem no wo kan yo ba bia akoduri se judge for mpontimi emo mo ho ban emfiri abasa emu den te say President Mahama abasa no se judge for mpo etimi mo ho modin a na mene amina mene wazamati mene we emfa mene jesi se judge for entimi emu mo ho ban dia enye natimamufo ebeye den wose de saye ni hu Professor Henrietta Mensa Bonsu wose de saye ni hu pa ne say de ye judge fuin especially de ye message Friday say tokunun ebema enipa bia na komadwe say dachi bi opeso ye judge no obe jan because abasa mu odin ebetima yi wadi abra asempapa bi eni ho de ato so enti wose career options obo mo ko school na wose me na person be judge wose ebeba nkofo bi ko po judge adwuma no because of the Mahama the justice tokuno no wose the ekoso no ese wo pese we use a class prefect group adia embre chen say ube chief justice edi very deep wose ekwakura di chief justice fa so no je say for kwa chen say ube class prefect edi na wo yi class prefect edi wose edin chen say under this government ube chief justice edi te say de dia ye justice tokuno no ya abreho na mekuta constitution wa ha mamen ko baby men kan kese kitua bi where your exercise of discretionary power 1992 constitution no article 296 say ya ma utumi a ya wotumi so be decide say meko benkum meko nifa menye hwe a 1992 constitution a kire kwan kora obetima use exercise of discretion article 296 memory kakra was saying where in this constitution or in any other law discretionary power is vested in any person or authority that discretionary power shall be deemed to imply a duty to be fair and candid, that exercise of discretionary power shall not be arbitrary, capricious, or biased either by resentment, prejudice, or personal dislike, and shall be in accordance with due process of law. And see, where the person or authority is not a judge or other judicial officer, there shall be published by constitutional instrument or statutory instrument regulations that are not inconsistent with the provisions of this constitution or that other law to govern the exercise of discretionary power. A and B, very, very relevant. That it shall not be deemed to imply a duty to be fair and candid. Personal dislike, arbitrary. The President Mahama about war position as some wakaya no say one the oba was so page judiciary no. It was ban war personal dislike for justice tokuno. War personal dislike chief justice no. It was the shady teams of Bob Unity. Enti one more committee members said 10 year before so no omo de minimum yasemo. Omo they have been used as conveyor belt. They are being used as tools to implement. President Mahama is the enabler. Or no, and was said and a warrior the warrior. Nanyasa, many petitions miensa. Miensa no, President Mahama pushing miensa Abraham will say, Mokota miensa no so. A different petitions, different dates. Yate committee. After Mokoya, must ye back. Na mas mo bia botai kama address afifie say ba ko na ye wie ye no ye de command president ba ko no enough ye gi ma menadi. What about the other two? Away. What about the other two? Eti yate commission ni committee bebre o Ghana. Yate a omo invite institution ba ko omo ni di komo wi a do they conclude do they issue a report on it and submit it to the president? I was gone. See at ye who commission no. Omo ye ni nyina wie ya ansa no mo de recommendations the full report no come president. Na so issue white paper to so and one no. But what dey can no musha police for no the police for report to call identify service from the modeko. Sa na ye no. Because of prejudices. Yeah, a work constitution prejudices constitution aka article 296. President Mahama in opposition had prejudices against Justice Tokunu. He had it. What meaning no? And then my court lawyer for at home church a chamber munya dadeno mon church as a munya ninkomo. Ni say adie de aye maame no. Misro the executive has waged a coup d'etat against the judiciary. The executive led by President Mahama omo wage coup d'etat against the judiciary. And now omanya corroborators. Omanya enkofo bi wom. Judiciary na ya no. Chief Justice bi oba Ghana da bia. Eya na petition bi kodo so. Ya na presidents no mu take asem ne sen. Won kwa de koye na enkofo bi wo Supreme Court man, they couldn't wait to see the back of Justice, the Chief Justice Tokunu. They couldn't wait. Etabe almost yenta fabra ni nyima menadi. Misro said MPP ba abemu a. Minim by the time Mama bears it no Chief Justice. Say MPP so ba abemu a. Let's say Chief Justice appointed by the outgone President Mahama.
Ana manfo soja egu OSP asum se asenia obekasa say special obekasa say you are former finance minister no ye be sure tina bagana no manfo nti hu sem biom na nti dem pa na ekosu nti a ana ye hu aye nkrata bia na OSP atro in June e dey am chief of staff say anka aban emwa in the processor anka extradition said ye dey you are kind of free to be US ye dey about my moa and chief of staff etro e dey come attorney general say because attorney general na share say man so they should liaise with the OSP and then find a solution to it.
Okay.
And krata anu no attorney general ebisa for docket investigation up to date any maybe proposed charges na hunyama say ye dey kind of free about my moa yebebo etuano enu nti ano sabman say onfa nipa mienu emfini office emra attorney general ho se na be a nkomo ne nkasa enyina o be enwu adwuma ana special prosecutor sa show letter e de koma AG say okay nipa mienu a me recommend and me appointed from the office e no be adwuma ni me mo docket no de e no anka ho na man for ka say what start kaso nipa yi or a fugitive from justice na hunia man na say docket attorney general be say docket we na sa won kwa na say be investigation no kura won ye wie nti kon ben so na wo si obi a fugitive of justice na hunia man nti weekend ni mu nsem na ye ne sources wo OSP office e kasa na o mo kire mu say docket no si e kasa die onwie na akanka kranka hunia makakra obewie na nya se boapayo na watena saa documents no so se attorney general ebisa no mbeso de bekwa koma no ebi kura aka se OSP no de nsan ko token no furi ata asem no so se na be ya attorney general anka sanso entimi mfa ho ne no so onya sa na attorney general an article 88 or betting for case bi opebia no wa investigate and prosecute in ekosi ho so hono no ana lawyer for bi so se attorney general say we wie ni investigation ana say Ken of Henrietta say omo memuha na say or evidence against him. He can file charges against him in absentia. Inti Martin Pebu ni other people actually say so share extradition process na very difficult there. But say from first time I only the two wanted list whereby and be 9-10 months. Each June we started to Sonia Huniama eche. Na say Ken of Henrietta say omo na say wo asem edimu etuano a ultimately the court as inibia now file cases in absentia then the case will go on up until when a judge for nti eno na de edikan ewo OSP ho nsem ne to so me no say ebeka ya 2022
say in terms of the extradition no
yes
sisia ekunkon
ani
in the name say Ken Eba na say Oma because I recall say time and OSP in the second press conference to declare him and I said to re-enter his name on the list.
Wanted list.
Or can say or two options.
Yes.
Either he comes voluntarily or he would force his return.
Yes.
It doesn't mean forcing a return.
And only a month for say extradition request don't say because government to government.
Yes.
So Attorney General so here information be our ho.
Yes.
Now the file request no at the DOG. Now say own fan koya. Now say wo.
And that information should come from OSP.
OSP because OSP na yes an investigation no, and it is the basis of the information in the docket. And I bet me a code DOG say onipa we a ye peno. E de na ba mu ha no. Ye de na ba fi se we ni we nti.
Okay.
Aban ana asoye bia ye nhwehwemu a je say onipa na ye boni sei ana boni sei enti na ye de na ba enti say no say mfi OSP home ma Attorney General ho a Attorney General enti me put on that request
and OSP so far en country will be a wire on fast information and
exactly yes sources actually say access information on real investigation on the docket here
okay
e bi no so for instance Edemson and so say they what say the special prosecutor himself ahwa na otwi obeshia Nsem-Pii for now if there are specific updates on this matter or the name or nyintum say ebi abo appointee na on cooperate with the Attorney General na investigation no ekoso so concluding as a docket near ready or the Beko Attorney General.
And I think hopefully so no he should tell the country why if per their claims no or my investigations etimi enya some body of evidence or free say they need Ken to come and answer questions on which means even without Ken coming no prosecution can begin. You know, and I remember say oh yeah in the first no oriental the D onto the list no I said that thing here say I am really at a loss why because really Ken bit me about it na nim
I can say there will be a
budi metio and is he saying there's a Ken ba na say Ken and cashe and trena na asem na wu ana because I don't know why yeah man this whole thing say you hear Ken why you hear Ken if indeed there are crimes are Ken a committee let's go to the court. Well, this ebimo kase oh and trial in absentia no e was any pane waha or waha near the court na ebia court take ni plea na trial ne start na odwanea and a year trial in absentia it doesn't mean that so ni pane ni hakra near what the evidence but let's proceed because anya ya no obetimi anya lawyer my lawyer barber without even a lawyer the case can still go on you know inti I don't know why but let's see say be a week mu Nsem-Pii which other issue never happened
special prosecutor now so say obaka 2022 MP4 omuka say Ken must go no you tell us say you see osikini bia or businessman eko hose anka oko bribe MP4 no say bia Ken for that say me Ken must go no umbeje mu
yes
and of course special prosecutor say because of bribery issues in the public office involved in the investigation special prosecutor say we investigation no
okay
wa confirm say obi ekoye a businessman be a Oscar ekoye attempt say obe bribe ankrofo no na mom and the appear could be ne MP4 no have refused to mention the name of the specific. In fact, we did a full reporter. OSP say no any intelligence etre onipa ko onimobisa nti sa report no say wa redact onipa name
okay
na mom esa ne say andi apia kubi any MP4 a na was a meeting no no eso mum onipa ni din and mum cooperate in terms of filing charges nti ontimi file charges nti say we close case no
okay
na mum say nsem no sesa na say bi echi obenya manfo abekwa kotena court
volunteer din na
then they will as witness obey witness no so they been so can say OSP entimi finance and share ni dem from can say why investigation no chere say osikani bi say a wo kra wo say o intelligence actually ni paako akọ baby akọ say akọ bribe amanfo public officers to stop a certain thing from going on. Na say some public officers for no so mo nipa ni din. Should that stop the OSP from proceeding? And say nipa ni so mo nipa
to be fair to him, but at the end of the day, there should be a witness. You understand? Because it was say eye obia na owo meeting ni mu bi asem no esi. Because anya say if the OSP should proceed without that, ebe hearsay evidence and so there. You better to actually, baby. And I want you to be fair to him, and I think he has a point.
Yeah, and the OSP actually was a investigation also no. And also they are told about the Nyama Sa. And the OSP who no. Mustafa Hamid.
Okay.
Any charges are
okay.
And they also court. The last time no 25 counts.
Okay.
He saying he upgrading to 54 counts. Because he amended the charge sheets there. A few things have come up. Amended the charge sheets and the charges have increased. The counts from now 25 to 54.
54.
And so he say we seize 4 tankers, 4 stations, in few apartments, and then Sassin I will be